Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to episode number 11 of our Minnesota Wild GM mode. So, in last episode we simmed all the way up to the trade deadline, and our record currently is 36, 20, and 6, and we have the first spot in the Central Division, which is only by 1 point. As you can see, separating us and Nashville, there's only a 1 point differential, so we might want to pick it up if we want to make sure we clinch our division, but we don't necessarily need to do that, but that's just what I see right now. I was looking for any potential trades I could do, and I don't see a whole lot because a lot of the players that are on the block are older players with really bad contracts, like Marc-Edouard Vlasic, who has like 7 years left, or they're like a prospect that's like a low top 6 or something like that that don't grow to be anything usually. So we are not actually going to make any trades here at the deadline. We might do a couple during the off season, like I might want to unload Zach Parise, even though, like I said before, he is on a no movement clause in real life. I like to just move him out kind of because he's got 6 years left. As well, Ryan Suter's contract is at 6 years left and his trade value is dropping off, so we might have to move him out as well. Just a couple like changes like that, but I don't know who we would bring in for some players like that. So maybe we ship like Parise back to New Jersey during the off season for like another left winger or something like that. Let me know what you guys think with that sort of stuff down below in the comments. Otherwise, we are up here, like I said, at the trade deadline. Our record currently is, well, not our record, our point leader is currently Luke Kunin, who's got 52 points in 62 games. He's been playing really well. He's up to an 84. As well as Kirill Kaprizov actually got injured in last episode and he won't return till the 15th of March. So we got to make sure not to play him right away because I do not want him to be re-injured and miss like maybe the first 2 rounds of the playoffs or something like that, because he's a big contributor to this team. So one thing I want to do beforehand, because I basically want to write this down for the Google Sheets page, is what trades have happened before the trade deadline and then maybe a couple after as well if there's anything that happens. So we're going to go over to the league thing just so you guys could get a little bit of a backstory of what's happening on in the NHL currently. So player pick and trading. So let's just go all the way down to the bottom, and this is basically where I'm going to put all this stuff into the Google Sheets page, and then I'm also going to probably get stuff from after the trade deadline as well if there is any trades. So we have Rourke and a second and 2 others to Calgary from Florida in exchange for James Neal and Mark Pysyk. So Mark Pysyk and James Neal going to the Calgary Flames. I guess they're trying to make maybe a bit of a cup run. As well, Mikkel Bodker has been acquired by the Vegas Golden Knights from San Jose for Eric Haula. Interesting. I guess that's how Eric Haula got to San Jose, because we were offered Eric Haula as part of a trade with Vlasic. Montreal acquired a 4th in Mark Barberio, so they got Mark Barberio back. I think they traded him a few years ago to a different team, or no, maybe they lost him to Colorado in real life. I don't remember, but he used to play for Montreal. But LA acquired Andreas Martinson and a 5th. Vancouver got Chuck Newble. I think that guy was a top 4 defenseman, if I remember correctly. And then also a 1st round pick from Toronto. And wow, Chris Tanev does go to Toronto. Same with Alexander Edler. So I guess the Toronto Maple Leafs are beefing up their defense as well as 2 others. So I don't know if those guys are picks or what. Pittsburgh got Petrie, Noel, and a 3rd. So some prospects and a 3rd to the Pittsburgh Penguins, and starting a bit of a rebuild probably with Crosby getting old. For the goaltending, the starting goaltender that we've seen on the block all the time, Philip Gustafson and Jeremy Waugh. St. Louis got 2nd round pick, Ma, I don't know who that is, and a 6th rounder for a 3rd, Patrick Berglund, and 2 others. Okay, Plekanec for a 4th, or Plekanec in a 4th for Kevin Gravel in the 5th. Kulikov is headed back to Florida, I guess, to kind of end off his career in a 5th, and J.C. Lepone from Winnipeg for Bortuzzo in a 7th. San Jose acquired a 2020 first from Ottawa in exchange for Justin Braun and a 5th. Washington acquired Frolik, Kindle, and Josefson from the Devils in exchange for Lucas Johansson and a 5th. Interesting. And Martinuk has been acquired by the Tampa Bay Lightning from Florida in exchange for Mitchell Stevens, Bill Thomas, I think his name is, and a 7th. Okay, so that's the trades that have happened before the deadline. Let's just sim one game ahead of the deadline and see if there's any other trades that have happened. Otherwise, we will sim all the way to the end of the season. I just want to get that sort of stuff for the Google Sheets page, because I'll be putting that in so you guys could check back in a few years and be like, oh, that's where that pick came from that team. So let's just go one game ahead of the trade deadline, or yeah, one game ahead. Did we win that game? Looks like we did. No, we lost in a shootout. Still a point. If at least we could win like maybe 6 or 7 games of the remaining whatever we have, or 8 games, we should be a playoff team. With that loss, though, as you can see, we did drop down to 2nd. St. Louis took over 1st. I forgot they were in our division to begin with. So, yeah, let's just quickly check if there was any more trades that happened right after that deadline. I don't think there probably was, because most of them happened before the deadline, it seems like. Even with the new trading kind of things. So, yeah, that was all the trades that have happened. So, I guess, yeah, we'll just sim the remainder of the season now and do a little bit of a wrap-up and see who we're up against in round 1 if we make the playoffs, which more than likely I think we should be a playoff team, unless we drop like all the rest of the games of the season, you never know. So let's sim up to April the 1st, see how we play in this busy month of March, and we lose to Winnipeg, which is a divisional team, and Dallas. We got to beat those divisional teams if we want to clinch our division. We don't necessarily, like I said, need our division, but whatever. And Mike Riley has been injured with a fractured jaw. Estimated return is March 21st, so he's actually out quite a while. So I guess this gives Brent Kulak a bit of time to play on the top 6 role, because he's our depth guy. I'm surprised he actually even wanted a contract renewal, because last year we never even played him, but he wanted to come back here and play. So I guess he assumes we're going to be a good team, and he doesn't mind being on the bench. So let's continue to scout in Sweden for defensemen. I think that's what I'm going to just continue to scout Swedish defensemen just for the rest of this GM mode episode, or well, up to the draft pretty much. So Mark Borvieski on waivers. No, not really needing a checking kind of fighting defenseman. And Kaprizov is back. Yeah, I'm going to just continue for now. He'll be back to full health on the 15th, so one more game, and then Kaprizov should be good. He shouldn't lose morale because of that. And so Mike Riley's also back for, I don't know if it's next game. Okay, so Kulak, wow, he dropped off. What the heck? I put him in the lineup, and then he drops off. The entire time he's a scratch, he doesn't drop off. Makes no sense. So Mike Riley's back in there on defense, and I think Kaprizov should be back to full health. Let's see. No, he's still injured a bit. So let's just wait until he's fully back to health. There you go. Now he should be, because it's the 15th. And sorry, my throat is a bit dry, and it's just because I have a bit of a cold. While Luke Kunin has not put up a single point yet in the last 8 games, I think. That's crazy. Okay, so Lucia, wait, is Kaprizov or Lucia on the power play currently? No, he's not. Okay, so let's currently move Parise and put Kaprizov here, and then put Parise right here, and that should be good. It still says Kaprizov's injured, but I think he said he was back on the 15th. Hopefully he is fine. I don't think we have a game though today, so we could still, hopefully he recovers for next game against Montreal. Let's go against Montreal. And yep, he has recovered from his injuries, so at least we have finally dealt with that stupid MCL sprain of his. Hopefully he doesn't get some other injury in the remainder of the season. But we aren't playing that good actually in this month. Our record's still solid though. Jared Spurgeon has been injured though with a mild concussion. That's not that long of an injury. Let's just go replace player. Kulak can get more ice time that way. I don't care if he's playing on the top 4. We're not playing that good though this month at all. Hopefully that doesn't hurt our playoff chances. So he's already back. So he's already back. Wow, Kulak, man, what are you doing? You're dragging down the morale of this team. But Jared Spurgeon, I think, might go during this offseason because he hasn't put up much numbers with us in the last few seasons. Like you can see, he only puts up around 20-something points a year. And his contract ends this year. He might want more than $5 million, which is a lot to give to a guy that only puts up like 20 points. Okay, let's just check where we are in the standings before we get too far ahead. Come on, we better have clinched the playoff spot or close to clinching the playoffs, because if we don't make the playoffs now after all this, yeah, we're currently still in that wildcard spot by 6 points. So we should clinch soon, I think. If we could win like maybe one more game at least, we should clinch. So, game against Ducks, come on, let's beat them, guys. They're not in our division, but let's just beat them anyways. And we do 2-0. Nice shutout from Devin Dubnyk, and we should have clinched, I think, with that one. We got locker room chemistry, nothing about clinching, but we probably did. Chicago and Pittsburgh, kind of funny because last night both those two teams played. It was funny to see Pittsburgh get destroyed 10-1. And we beat Chicago in overtime, so that's a divisional team. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, that's a divisional team. The AHL did not make the playoffs. And we've clinched, I think, unless there's a team in the Pacific that's fighting for that wildcard spot as well. This might come down to like one of the last games of the season. Let's check the West for a second. It's still, they could still catch us. Edmonton could still catch us. That's not good. Because, we're 2 points above them, but they have more ROWs, so we gotta win this game. And Edmonton, hopefully they don't play good in their game. If Edmonton misses the playoffs, though, that's kind of surprising, because I think they've already won a cup in this universe, and they've also, like, last 2 seasons, they've been finishing one of the best in the league. So, come on, Pittsburgh, lose. Oh, and we lose in regulation. Oh, come on, we gotta have made the playoffs still if we didn't. Oh, we qualified for the playoffs, thank God. I guess Edmonton would have lost in regulation, so let's do a little season wrap-up before we see who we're up against. I'm pretty sure all the teams have probably played 82 games by now. Let's just make sure all the teams have played 82 games. Yep, okay, so entire league-wise, we finished just barely in a playoff spot. Hopefully that means we'll win the cup this year. We finished 15th in the league with 93 points, 42, 31, and 9. 221 goals for. How good is that? The goals for per game in the league. It's around the middle as well. So we weren't scoring a lot of goals, but like we've always been a better defensive team, it seems like. So that's okay. Goals against per game, we were one of the best again. Top 10 looks like, 7th in the league with 2.48 goals against per game. Our power play 19.9%, which is not, it's not too bad. It's like the middle again. And our penalty kill looks like shit. 78%. Yeah, we had a really bad penalty kill. I'm probably going to change up the penalty kill lines for the playoffs. We only had 4 shorthanded goals this year. On home ice, 20, 16, and 5. On the road, 22, 15, and 4. And our last 10, 5, 5, and 0. So that is the team stats. I'll also put the standings into the Google Sheets thing like I always do, so you guys could check that out and just do like a little analysis if you want to or whatever. So forward wise, Nito Niederreiter ends up leading us in points with 63 points in 82 games. I think that's the second time he's led us in points, and he's up to an 86 now. I don't know if it's because of statistical growth or what, but he's up to an 86. Luke Kunin had 60 points. Really good performance from this youngster. This is like, what season is this? This is, only his second NHL season, and he's already got 112 NHL points, so he's playing pretty good. Eric Stahl, 52 points. Granlund, 50. Coyle, 40. And then Parise, 36. See, Parise, if he's going to put up only 36 points in making that much on a contract, I definitely want to try and get rid of him this season, off season, if I can, because some teams would go over the salary cap probably, and I don't know if a lot of teams would want to take on a outstanding contract like that, but we got to try and move him during this offseason, I think, even though he's a clutch performer in the playoffs. Eriksson Ek, 31 points, but only 6 goals. So I guess this guy is still more of a pure playmaker. His shooting category isn't the greatest either. Actually, it's at a 3-star. Kaprizov had 27 points in 49 games. All those injuries. Hopefully next year he's more healthy and we get like farther than this year if we get not that far. Verstegen, his only season probably with us is like a depth kind of guy / 4th liner. 26 points in 82 games. Only a -2, so he wasn't that bad defensively either. Tyler Ennis, 26 points as well. Jordan Greenway, 25 points. 1 second, guys, I just need to clear my throat. So Jordan Greenway, 25 points, but 14 goals. So I think that growth is just mostly because he scored some goals a lot. So it might be just a statistical growth. He's kind of the wild card. I might want to move him out eventually because he's 23 and only an 81. So he's not growing as good as people like Kunin and Kaprizov. Jaskin, 19 points, 11 goals, not bad. And Lucius, 6 points in 34 games, is a depth guy. Defensively, yep, Ryan Suter, 51 points, 9 goals this year in comparison to the one last year. But he was a -10, so yeah, the top defensive pairing actually is the -1, really. I think that's Suter and Dumba. So I might have to change up the defensive core a bit. Brodin, 39 points, Dumbo, 24, Spurgeon, 23. See, he doesn't put up that much points. He might have to go this year, potentially. Riley, 9 points in 79 games, and Murphy, 6 points in 82 games. Kulak had nothing in 8 games, and it was a -3. So he didn't help us out a lot, and he's at 74, dropping off a lot. So I think he definitely goes during this offseason. Probably doesn't want a contract renewal either. Goaltending wise, how did Hutchinson and stuff finish? So Dubnyk, 31, 25, and 6, 5 shutouts, 919 save percentage, 2.35 goals against average. Not bad. Could be better. But did you guys see his save last night against Detroit? That was pretty crazy. Saw a highlight of it. It reminded one of my friends, Jay Bryland, Sabres fan, of Dominic Hasek, and it's kind of true because Dominic Hasek would always flop like that. Then we also got Hutchinson stats. He won 11, 6, and 3, so a winning record, but he got a lot of losses closer to the end. Still a really good save percentage, 920, 3 shutouts, and a worse goals against average. So he kind of dropped off, I think, during the end of the season. But whatever, he still got more wins than losses. So that is our team stats. Let's check around the entire league now for points. And then what will we do? Then we'll, I guess, see who we're up against in round number 1, and then maybe check progress reports. That's the thing. See how the HL maybe actually did as well. So entire league in the NHL. Wow. Okay, so leader in goals was Patrick Kane with 49 goals. Assist leader was Sam Reinhart with 65. Wow. And then Nick Backstrom was behind him with 61. Liljegren 61, and he's at an 86 now. Damn, I've never seen him grow so good. 86 overall, so I guess Toronto's treating him pretty well over there. 61 assists, so this guy's going to be like the next Erik Karlsson, I guess. Point leader, Patrick Kane with 99, so he just barely falls short of 100. And Ovechkin had 91 points in 77 games, so Ovi missed 5 games, yet he still put up 90-something points and 45 goals. So if he would have played another 5 games, maybe he could have had a 50-goal season. You never know. So that is that stuff. Let's just check the rookies who won the rookie scoring. Liljegren, wow, I guess Liljegren's rookie season was this year too. Yeah, Liljegren took it, 70 points in 82 games. It's pretty good for a rookie. Joe Foligno is also up to an 86 now. He was that guy that went, second overall just at the 2018 draft in year number 1. So the Islanders are going through a bit of kind of a rebuild with good young prospects now, so they don't care about losing John Tavares to free agency, however many years ago that was. And then the Brinkat, 50 points as an 81 overall. Wow. Svechnikov, 36. Dallin, 31. So Dallin's in the NHL now as well, 83 overall. Okay, and who was it? Del Coley. So I guess Del Coley's playing with Lano. So yeah, New York Islanders are probably going to be a scary team. They might have made the playoffs. I don't know exactly. So yeah, that's the rookie stats for the season. So now let's take a look at the progress reports, and we'll just check the player stats for the HL that matter. And then we will go on to see who we're up against in round number 1. So hopefully we had some good growth from some of our youngsters in the minors. So let's just check the NHL for growth first. So Greenway, Kaprizov, not a surprise with those guys. That's pretty much it in terms of growth in the NHL. And then in the minors, while Gonchar grew to a 59, I think he was at like a 56 or 57 at the start of the season. He didn't grow that much. I don't know if this guy's going to be anything because he's 20 and he's only 59. How did his first season go? So 9 points, 82 games, minus 17. Okay, that's not still too bad. 9 points. At least he got some points, and he wasn't that good defensively, but the guy's at 59, so it doesn't matter that much. Lundina's up to a 61 now. Nice. Only 20 years of age as well, but he's a bottom 6, so it doesn't really matter that much. Bordelman's a 74 now, so maybe he makes the NHL in a couple of seasons, so he's 23 already though. Lundstrom's up to a 67. How much points did he put up this year? 28 points, so he had actually an off year in comparison to last year. 5 goals, 23 assists, 28 points, minus 4 in comparison, so he was getting better defensively, taking less penalties, but he put up less points by 2 points. One of them was actually a shorthanded .2, not too bad. Chizen Hodges, 58 overall, started as a 57, so he didn't grow too much. Hopefully he still can grow a lot. How was his first season? 11 points in 82 games. Hey, I'll say that's pretty good for a 18-year-old who's never played in a, well, let's just say like a major league like this. He was at minus 28, so he wasn't good really at all defensively. 21 points, 1 shorthanded goal, or 21 penalty minutes. I think I said points. Yeah, he was pretty solid. They didn't make the playoffs probably just because they had so much young guys. Rafalski's a 57 now. I think he might be trade bait. Hecht is a 53, so our low elites aren't growing that well. Our goaltender is a 51 now. He hasn't grown much. And his reflex and puck control is still at only half stars, which is not that good. His athletics, 2 stars though. But there you go. Red Dish is still 75. He hasn't really grown. Hopefully he doesn't cap off at a 75 because I want something better than 75. Okay, so anyways, that's the player growth. Let's just take a look at who we're up against now in round 1, since we already saw the points for some of the guys that mattered in the NHL. So who are we going to play? I think it's probably going to be St. Louis or something like that. It is going to be, once it loads because it's being slow. Yep, it's going to be the St. Louis Blues. So we played them last year in the playoffs, and we took them out in 5 games. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it again necessarily this year because they have probably that same type of lineup. But hopefully they are a weaker team now. Like hopefully people like Paul Stastny are dropped off if Paul Stastny's still there. I don't think he was actually. Maybe he was on the Flyers or something. So yeah, St. Louis. What a story. So okay, so we got Jaden Schwartz, Ivan Barbashev, and Vladimir Tarasenko. We've seen this line before. That's where most of their offense comes from. And then their bottom 6 or bottom 9 is usually more defensive. So you got Bridgen, 85, and you got our former captain Mikko Koivu trading sides to the enemy as an 81 overall. Oh wow, that's pretty funny. So you got 2 two-ways and a sniper. So Fabry's like the only offensive player on that second line. And then you got a 2-way forward in Alexander Steen. Mike Fisher's there, I guess, because I didn't have the current roster update. He's still playing, even though he's retired in real life. And Sabatka. Then you got Vermette, Nash, and Nordstrom. So yeah, it seems like their top 3, like obviously their first line, is just more the offensive type. Except for Fabry also is offensive on the second line. And then after that, you just got a bunch of defensive players that could also somewhat play good offensively. Like Schen's pretty good in both ends of the ice. Same with Steen. Koivu's more of a defensive player now. So I'm not too worried about Mikko Koivu. Hopefully he doesn't come back to bite us, but whatever. And then defensively, yeah, they're really strong. So you got Pietrangelo 89 with Parayko 85. Bouwmeester 82 with Schmaltz 81. Edmondson 80 and Petrovic 79. Okay, goaltending. Jake Allen and Evan Fitzpatrick. Solid goaltending combo, not that good though. Matt Irwin's a depth guy. He's probably getting pissed off from ice time because he usually does. Brandon Manning. And why do they have a 57 low top 6 in their lineup? 7th round pick, and they want to play this guy. Why don't you just send him down to the minors instead of keeping him as a scratch in the NHL? Maybe just to give the kid some experience of looking into the NHL playoffs. I don't know. That's a little bit of a brain scratcher, but whatever. So anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for this episode of Minnesota Wild GM Mode. So next episode, we will take on the St. Louis Blues for the 2nd year in a row in round number 1. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.